I know what you're thinking. Is Michelle actually vlogging 2 weeks in a row? She must really love us. I am, and I do. For those of you that are new here, my name is Michelle Ferré. I am a 4th grade math and science teacher in Maryland. And this week, we've got early dismissal days. We've got assessments. We've got fundraisers. We've got a field trip. But it is the last full week before spring break. Let's do this. So let's just go ahead and put you down because I cannot hold a camera that long without my arm getting tired. Let's talk about my schedule today. So it is an early dismissal day. We always have 2 early dismissal days at the end of every marking period to give teachers time to get grades done, all that good stuff. So because of it being an early dismissal day, and it is also the day of our math assessment, we cannot give it to all of the students in that short amount of time. So we actually break it up. I'm giving the math assessment to my block 1 today and my block 2 tomorrow. So today I am just meeting with my block 1, doing the math assessment. This morning, it is a Monday, so I have to go meet with my team teachers. We collaboratively plan on Mondays, and we've got stuff to talk about for the field trip. And then this week, we've got Booster-thon, which Booster-thon is a fundraiser. I've never really done Booster-thon, so I'm sure I'll have more to add to this conversation later, but it is my understanding that it's an interactive fundraiser, okay? You're not just sending home packets with kids and then having them send in money. Oh, no, no. They are having like team huddles every day before our cultural arts time or during our cultural arts time. I don't know, but there's a lot going on with this fundraiser. So we have to go to a like teacher meeting this morning, but you know what? We got these really cute t-shirts, okay? It says We Spark Minds and it's actually really cute. So they got that going for them. Love to know the science behind why teachers feel 10 times more tired on an early dismissal day than they do a regular day. I don't understand it, but here I am experiencing it. I feel exhausted. Maybe it's because it's a Monday. I don't really know, but I am so tired. Now, today was a good day. My block 1 students took their math assessment. I was able to already grade them and get them put in the grade book and print out their score report. So I feel amazing about that. I've also started rearranging some things in my classroom. I feel like every time around the spring, I just suddenly want to move things around because I need a change. So I've started doing that. I'll show you later on in the vlog what I ended up doing because I'm still kind of in the brainstorming process. But I've had a super productive afternoon. I feel good. I'm caught up on all my grades. I'm like, yes. So to reward myself, I'm gonna leave school right at 4 o'clock. I'm gonna use that time to go home. I may go out and do a little shopping, I don't know, but Billy and I are gonna go for a bike ride tonight because it's like 80 degrees outside and it's beautiful and I'm gonna take full advantage. So I will catch up with you tomorrow. Happy Tuesday. I had a very productive night last night and made a lot of labels and things, which I will show you once I get them attached. But in terms of our schedule today, it is another early dismissal day. This morning, instead of taking my students directly to their cultural arts, I need to take them to the gym for Booster-thon for their team huddle, which I understand Booster-thon a little bit better now, okay? My knowledge was lacking yesterday, but I was on point when I said it's a fundraiser. We personally, with our school, we're trying to get diverse books for our classroom libraries, and then if there is any money left over, we're getting more Chromebooks. Now, the team huddles that our students go to every morning is basically a way for the Booster-thon people to pump our kids up and keep them excited about the fundraiser. It's also an opportunity for them to kind of share progress of how we're doing, and they also get to see these different like videos because they have these different values that go with it. I don't fully understand that part, but I will link down below if you are wanting to donate to our school's Booster-thon. This goes through next Wednesday, so I don't know what date that is. What is today? Today is the 9th, which means tomorrow's the 10th, which means the 17th. So if you are watching this before April 17th and you do want to donate, you can use the link down below. If you don't, feel no pressure whatsoever, but I figured I'd throw it out there because I knew some people would ask. After Booster-thon, we are going only to block 2 today because our students are going to take their block 2 math assessment. So basically half the students took it yesterday, half the students take it today, and then I do have 2 hours after school to get some grading done and then show you all the lovely things that I am changing in my classroom. First, I wanted to show you this because it's not really a change, it's an addition. Now, just ignore the hot mess that is happening on my desk, but I told you in last week's vlog about how we were doing these ticket incentive programs, and I really like this for classroom management, and here's why. Usually with classroom management, students start to get bored of it after a while, but by doing a ticket incentive, you can change the prize every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever it is that you choose, and that helps to keep it interesting because it's always something new that students are working towards. Here's what the tickets look like. It just says you've earned the chance to pick 3 friends to be in your field trip group. We've been handing these out to students all of last week and then this week. And then they were putting their tickets in my homeroom turn-in bin, and it just became a hot mess and I could not handle it. So I went onto Amazon and bought this. It's actually like a donation box or a suggestion box, but I'm using it for my students to turn in their tickets. It works perfectly because the tickets fit right through the slot. And then I just created this little kind of title thing to go in here, and I just printed on cardstock and laminated it. It says, got tickets, turn in your tickets here for your chance to pick 3 friends to be in your field trip group. And what I really like about this, not that I don't trust my kiddos, but it does lock, so I don't have to worry about anyone taking out anyone else's tickets or changing the names on them. Not that anyone would do that, but better safe than sorry. So if you are interested in this, I will link it down below. I think as my team and I start to do more of these ticket incentives, I will probably put together like a pack for TPT, and it will have the tickets and the little sign that goes with it. And now, because you all seem to think I have my life together, I'm gonna share a teacher fail with you. You all may remember me talking about these birthday cups. I give these to my students when, you know, it's their birthday. It's essentially just a plastic cup that I got off of Amazon. I put some candy at the bottom, so I put 3 Dum-Dums. I put a piece of, what is this, tissue paper up at the top to kind of look like whipped cream. I have this little taped message that says happy birthday, love Miss Ferré, and then inside of it, kind of like a straw, I stick a birthday pencil. Now, sounds great in theory, and what I did is I made all of these cups back in like September so that they were ready to go, and then I was trying to bring them in as my students had birthdays, and eventually I just kind of forgot to bring them in. So I've literally had like 7 kids who have not gotten their birthday cups, and I was feeling really guilty. So what I did is I just packed a whole bag of them and went ahead and brought them to school so that today I can hopefully make amends with my students and finally give them their birthday cups. Let's go ahead and go over some of the changes in my classroom that I've been mentioning. Change number 1, I did rearrange my desks. Since it is the start of a new marking period, I always like a fresh start. Now, here's the deal. I have had this desk arrangement a lot, and even though it is bigger groups, which kind of is a negative, I really like it because it does open up my room a lot. It's interesting because anyone who comes to my room after having seen it on camera always says, wow, your room is so much smaller than I thought. It looks big on camera because of the lens, but in reality, the way I had my desk prior to this, they were so close together and it was so hard for my students to even get out of their seats. So I like this arrangement because it makes it much more open. I also have changed this area. This is up by the front of my board. And I used to have my math bins here, which I have gotten rid of because I was no longer using them. I originally used them to put math games in, and I had a math game in each bin so the kids could just take the bin and go. But because of the way I'm doing rotations now in math, I just didn't need them. So what I did is I actually moved the games over here. You can see I have these labeled. These are my assorted bright labels, which I will link down below. So I have one drawer with all of the containers of dice. I have one drawer with all the containers of counters, because some games use dice, some use counters, some use both. So depending on what they're playing, they can grab those. And then I have the game boards right in here. So it's much easier to change out because they're all in one place instead of each game board being in an individual container. And then here are containers of playing cards. Now, this one up here is not labeled because I kind of haven't fully decided. Right now I have my schedule materials in there, but I may not keep them in there. I don't know. This does not have pencils, dry erase markers, and glue sticks anymore. I used to have those in here, but now I have my Uno cards. This is a game on TPT. I will link it for you. I have my equation dice, and then I have some flashcards, which I don't have very many of. I probably don't even need a drawer for that, but whatever. And then these materials were down at the bottom, and all I did was move them up. I think I'm gonna use the bottom area to put caddies. Now that I have my desks arranged like this again, I can technically have 4 big groups, so I can have caddies of materials for them under here so that they can just send a group representative, sorry about that, to go grab it when they need them. And bonus, because I am no longer using the containers for my math bins, I was able to convert them into more STEM centers. I'm not going to go into these in detail now because I think for my next video, I'm going to go ahead and sit down and just give you the lowdown on these, how I work them into my schedule, what materials I use, all that fancy stuff. So stay tuned, more information is coming. But then in order to free up space for those, I had to move some other things. So my graded work container is now up on the counter, which actually works out well because it's right next to the Wednesday folders. This is only back here for when I have graded assignments. I pull this basket down and put it like over here in this open spot and put papers in it, but when I'm not using it, I just store it up here. I just slid my clipboards down. This is my little lost and found area. I have this container for pencils and things, and then I have this for larger items, little bit of clear space, and then this is where my students keep water bottles. Real talk, if I look hot, sweaty, and disgusting, it's because I am. It is starting to warm up here. It was about 80 degrees today, and my room gets stifling hot as the weather warms up. It was miserable. I was sweating all day. I was keeping the lights off to try to cool it down, and it was just not a very fun time. But I have been productive. As you saw, I've made quite a few changes in my room, which makes me feel more at ease, just kind of having something fresh and new. I always really like that. I do have a couple of other things I need to do before I get out of here. I need to get some stuff ready for tomorrow and get some stuff ready for a field trip on Friday. So I'm gonna get those done, and then I will catch up with you in the morning. Happy hump day. I walked to my classroom this morning and I had forgotten that I moved all of my seats. I got scared for a second. I was like, whoa. I have to say this arrangement just gives me so much more space. Like walking in and around to my desk, I was like, I already feel better. Now, I wanted to talk quickly about creating seating charts, because when I moved my desks, I had to create 3 different seating charts, one for homeroom, one for block 1, and one for block 2. In terms of creating the seating chart, I just go onto Google Slides and I just kind of make a simple layout of my room. Like I mark where the door is, I mark where the smartboard is, and I mark where the windows are. And then I just create little rectangles to be the desks, and then I can type right in the rectangles the names. So it makes it really easy if I have to move 1 or 2 kids after today, once I actually get them in their seats and I realize it's not gonna work, I can just go in quickly and type in those names. In terms of telling my students where their new seats are, for my homeroom, my students all stagger in at different times because our arrival is from 8:55 to 9:15. So I actually put a little sticky note on their desk with their name. That way they can come in, they can be self-sufficient and find it. Now for block 1 and block 2, I actually don't do that. Number 1, I don't want to put a bunch of sticky notes on the desk. And number 2, I'm worried that students that sit there before them are going to take the sticky note off or move them around. So what I do for block 1 and block 2, I literally leave them in my room and I just walk them in a big circle until they're around the perimeter of my room, and I just go around and I hit each desk and I'm like, so-and-so's here, so-and-so's here, so-and-so's here, and that's always worked out really well. It only takes like 2 minutes at the beginning of class and then they all have their seats. Lunch update, although I say lunch update and I am not eating lunch today because I don't have time. It has been a hectic morning. I had a CDM meeting before kids came in, and then it's been one of those mornings, you know what I mean? First of all, my kids had book fair buying during media time, and so that makes things hectic because they're coming back with these bags and trinkets and toys and stuff like that. So I've had to confiscate some items this morning, I'll just put it that way. And then we've just had some interesting behavior things happening. So I've been very busy trying to document and make sure my ducks are all in a row. But I've been just catching up with my coworkers and I had to make a couple of copies during lunch. So I have to go get my kiddos in 5 minutes. So I guess I will try to scarf down whatever I can during my lunchtime, and then I'll just have to eat later and make it work. Now 7:30 p.m. I had Hero Boys after school until a little after 5, and then I was talking with my team teacher a little bit, and I just spent the past hour to an hour and a half of my time decorating my flag for Booster-thon. However, I do think it's worth it, but you know, it seemed like a good idea until I actually started doing it. So with Booster-thon, we have the fun run next week on Wednesday, and we will have our flags for that. So I wanted to get mine decorated so I could keep it outside of my classroom door until that time comes. So here is my flag. Bam! I think it turned, you probably can't hear me when I'm behind it, but I think it turned out really, really good. We are team Flamin' Ferrés. My kiddos came up with that. I was really proud of them. In terms of decorating it, the flag is pretty thin, so I first traced it in pencil. I kind of designed a little logo last night, ran it past my kids. They liked it, so I traced over it in pencil first, and I just projected it onto my smartboard. And then I traced over all the lines in Sharpie, and then I just used like permanent markers to color it in, which I kind of regretted because it took a lot longer than I thought, but I do think it looks really nice. Now, in terms of our stats, we are currently in 5th place. So we're getting up there. My kids are getting excited. I love that they're involved in the process of it all. And I know there will probably be people that comment and say, well, Booster-thon takes a big cut of the money. And yeah, they do. They are a business. They are going to profit from it as well. However, it's helping our school fundraise more money than we would otherwise, and I like how pumped up the kids get with it, and they get to kind of be a part of that. I personally am happy that my school is doing Booster-thon, but I know that there are mixed opinions, I'll just say that. Anyway, I need to get out of here. I am starving because I didn't get to eat lunch earlier. I did snack on some popcorn in the afternoon, but overall I'm really hungry. So I'm gonna quickly go hang up my flag outside of my room, and I will catch up with you tomorrow morning. Happy Thursday. It is already my planning time because we've changed our schedule just a little bit. So my team teacher and I, who meet to discuss math planning, we used to meet Wednesday during our planning time. Now we meet Thursday before school. So I had that earlier, and then me and my team teachers are trying to get stuff ready for the field trip tomorrow. So it's been a hectic morning, but I'm now getting ready for the day. I need to go hide these cards around my room for science because we're talking about renewable and non-renewable resources, and our focus today is fossil fuels. So I have some cards that say like natural gas and oil and coal, and I'm gonna hide them around the room, and I'm gonna split them into groups and give each group a chance to go look for cards, but I'm not gonna replace any of the cards. So the first group is gonna find them really easily, and then the last group's gonna have a really hard time, and we're gonna discuss that. So I'm excited. I always love that lesson. And then in math, we're just working on like reviewing because we've taken our 3rd quarter assessment, but we're not gonna start a new unit when we have our field trip on Friday. So I'm also working on my SLO, which is on subtraction and division. My division 1 is done. My subtraction 1 I'm trying to finish up. SLO, I'm sorry, I should have told you this, stands for Student Learning Objective. It's essentially, we target a skill that our students are having difficulty with, and we give them a pre-assessment, and then we work with them on it, and we give them a post-assessment. So I'm trying to work with students, and hopefully I can get my post-assessment next week. I need to get ready, so I will catch up with you later in the day. This happened today. One of my students left a crayon on the floor, and then another student ended up putting the wobble stool on top of it. This is the bottom of the wobble stool. As you can see, the crayon got crushed, and there are now chunks of crayon on the bottom of the wobble stool that I can't get off. And here is what the floor looks like. I've already used a wet wipe on it and it did not work. So if anyone knows any tricks for getting crayon off the floor or getting crayon off the bottom of a wobble stool, please let me know, because I need to know. It has been a day, y'all. I will just put it that way. I am so exhausted. It's just been one thing after another, and I'm like, oh, I need some time for myself tonight, and especially because we have a field trip tomorrow. And I'm already really tired. So pros and cons of having a field trip on a Friday. Pro is that after the field trip is done, you get to go home and relax all weekend, but con, you are exhausted before the field trip even starts, and then even more exhausted once it ends. I am looking forward to the field trip because it is a good one. We did the same field trip last year where our students do a Annapolis Harbor cruise, and then they tour the Naval Academy in downtown Annapolis and the Maryland State House, and it's awesome, but I'm gonna need something to get me through it, because if I feel anything like I do right now, tomorrow it's not gonna be good. I need to get out of here. I do have a couple of things to kind of prep for the field trip tonight to get ready for tomorrow. And then, you know what? We're just gonna smile and we're gonna get through it. I will catch up with you tomorrow morning. Happy Friday. Well, this should be fun. I am vlogging on my phone because I grabbed my camera this morning, but did I grab the battery for it? No, I did not. So we're gonna make it work today. It's all right. It is field trip day. I don't know how much footage I'm gonna be able to get. Number one, because, you know, my first responsibility is my kids. And number two, it's supposed to rain. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. But regardless, we're gonna have a great day. And then I will catch up with you later on. I survived the field trip. I am back at school. Overall, I felt like the day was great. I mean, honestly, there were no hiccups. I felt like my students did a great job, especially because I checked my watch and we walked a total of about 5 miles. So it's a lot of time on our feet. It's a lot of listening because we have a tour guide. She's dressed in colonial gear, which is really fun. But it's just a lot of time that they have to really just be listening, and that can be difficult for kids. But overall, I felt like they had a really great time. We got to see the Maryland State House and the Naval Academy and some parts of downtown Annapolis area, and then we had the boat. And I will say it was a little bit rocky and it was super windy today. So a lot of my kids were kind of miserable from that. But then we had a little dance party at the end and it was all good. It did start to rain once we got off the boat. We were waiting for our buses and it started raining. But you know what? At least it held off until then. Could have been a lot worse. I am back at school. I am exhausted, if I'm being completely honest. A little bit of a headache. But I had a great day. I felt like this week, it was long, but it's been a very fun week, you know, with the fundraiser and booster-thon and field trip and all that. So next week we only have 3 days of school, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then we have spring break Thursday, Friday, and the weekend. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the vlog here. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. As always, thank you for watching. I love you all so much. Don't forget to put your positive pants on, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of this video and for supporting my YouTube channel. If you want to check out any of my older videos, you can use the 2 links right down here. If you want to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future videos, you can use the link right up here. The links to all of my social media sites, my Teachers Pay Teacher store, my merchandise store, and my Amazon store are in the description box, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.